Delete it.
Oh, we did it.
Oh,
We did it.
wow.
We're live.
We are.
You are tuned into the Island of, I was about to say Geek Spot
I
News.
know.
I
I
have
heard it.
no idea why.
I heard. I heard.
Uh,
I heard you hesitate.
the Island of Relevancy. We are here. Thank goodness. Yesterday we had the worst of all technical problems. I guess the server on EV Mux was just mucking around, as they say.
It's like everybody wanted to be online at the same time.
I think so. I mean, it's Wednesday night. AEW Dynamite's on. Nobody watches that, so
Right. Everybody's online.
um, yeah. Well, speaking of AEW Dynamite, before we get started, definitely want to send our well wishes out to Jim Ross. He just found out he has colon cancer, and if you're a wrestling fan, no matter what wrestling you've watched, he's been everywhere. He's been on WCW. He's been on WWE. He's been on AEW. He's kind of the voice of a lot of people's childhood.
Yep.
Him and the King, they had that was probably one of the best Raw, um, if not the best Raw tandem of announcers. So definitely get well soon, JR. And my well wishes are with him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but on to WWE, right? Off of the bad stuff. We're live, thank goodness. We made it. So let's talk about the last week of wrestling, right? We started off with SmackDown. This SmackDown, I wanted to say it was worse than the week before, but I think it was a little bit better. I think it was a step in the right direction.
I think it's a step in the right direction, but until they go to 2 hours, I think it's still going to be a struggle for them to fit everything, or not at least fit everything, but like to tell cohesive stories. I think they're trying to stretch stuff that doesn't need to be stretched, and yeah, I think until we go to 3 hours, it was a little bit better.
Yes, and you're 100% right because Raw this week was 2 hours, and I've noticed since they've gone to 2 hours 30, sometime they stop at two. It's been a lot tighter on Raw, right?
Yeah,
Because I think the rosters are very comparable. It's really, a lot of people want to say Raw has the bigger stars, Raw has the better women, Raw has the better. They definitely don't have the better tag teams.
no,
Um, but like I do think that 3 hours really hurt them in the long run. Like it sounds like a good idea. Wrestling fans always think they want more until you get more and realize that the 2 hour format was so tight. It was so
yep.
much going on and it just flowed a lot better. Um, but speaking of flowing, we start off SmackDown with a tag team match. LA Knight, Damian Priest versus the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu and Solo Sokoa in
It was a match.
it was a match.
Good.
It was okay. It wasn't the worst match. Solo, come on, man. Like we can't keep treating Solo like this. I like Solo Sokoa.
I liked Quiet Solo. I liked
No,
Enforcer, not just because his character was a little bit more mysterious, a little bit like
yeah,
he was just the enforcer, and it worked.
yes,
And then I think they pushed him too hard, too fast because they had a hole and they expected him to fill the hole. And the moment that Jacob debuted, people started saying, yo, this man's going to outshine him. And sure enough,
he did. He did.
mhm,
Jacob Fatu has really shown the world what he can do. Not on, and it's not only because he's a good wrestler. It's because he has this personality, right? He has he has that it factor, and it's hard to say what it is because he doesn't do anything specifically better than other people, but he just has that charisma. He has what the young kids call aura, right?
yep,
He has all of that. And it just seems so real. Like he just seems like that is really who he is. That doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like a character. It's not a gimmick. That's Jacob Fatu. Like that's who he is. Like and people gravitate towards genuine. And I really think that's where he shines the most because he just comes out. I really hope that they don't screw this up and try to turn him into, a super baby face and he comes out there and start actually saying catchphrases. He has a catchphrase.
He does. And I think I said it the last time we talked about him that he's kind of where Tiffy is right now. He doesn't pander to the crowd, but he's over. And it works that way. She doesn't pander to the crowd, but she's the baby face. He's kind of the baby face now, but he's not pandering to the crowd and he's not trying to get the cheap pops and he's, oh, so-and-so city, I'm so glad to be. He's not doing any of that. He's, all gas, no brakes. And that's great. And it works.
Exactly. It didn't work in this match. His team, the team lost. Solo took the pin, of course. LA Knight is an enigma to me because I want to hate LA Knight with all of my soul. But boy, oh boy, does he elicit a response from the crowd because they love this guy.
Yep.
And it's hard. It is hard to root against him because he's like a older. He kind of reminds me of DDP. Where he got over when he was older. Like DDP got over when he was way older. And LA Knight, he looks young, but he's up there. I think he's a little bit over 40, maybe. He might be 41, 42.
42.
Yeah, so he's no spring chicken. He still looks great, like for his age. I mean, he looks great in amazing shape. And you want to root for him, but at the same time, you just kind of don't believe it. But he actually has slowly been putting on better matches too. I've noticed that he's added a little bit to his repertoire because you just don't want to become stale, and he definitely was at risk for becoming stale. But once again, the crowd still love him. He comes out there, and that's a good group of, I guess, quote unquote mid-carders. You got Damian Priest, you got Drew, you got Jacob, you got Solo, you got Mello, you got Aleister Black. Like you have a really good group of mid-carders that could push each other to become better and then move up into the world title picture as the older guys go out.
Yep.
But yeah, LA Knight won with the BFT. Priest and Knight get into a fight because of course they're fighting the next night on at Backlash, and then Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere, hits the Claymore. He stands tall, and all I kept thinking was, "There's no way he's gonna win."
No,
and that is the theme of the night. Is there are a lot of people standing tall, and we saw what happened the next night at Backlash. And once again, you mentioned it last week. We got to stay away from that. We got to stop the trope. Right?
It's every time. It's all the way back to the Hogan days. It's just the person standing tall, holding the belt. I mean, that part, if you're holding the belt over someone, yeah, you should lose. That I agree with. But if you just take someone out and you're the one standing there tall over everyone else and you don't pick up the belt, maybe you win the next time. You know what I mean? Like, don't keep making them. It's the same. Everybody knows. Now you're going, oh, well, even though I want Jacob to win, we know he's going to win because Drew's standing there.
Standing tall. I mean, I didn't know we all knew Jacob was going to win, but I just knew Drew was going to lose. Right. And anybody else in that match could have won, but it wouldn't be Drew because he was the person standing tall. And what's going on, Ace? Yes. What's going on, Ace? Thank you so much for dropping in. You know what, Ace? I know you're the biggest wrestling fan. You're a bigger wrestling fan of all of us.
Probably.
I'm totally kidding. But we definitely appreciate you dropping in. And yeah.
And now that T's wearing his Dunder Mifflin shirt, Ace, we're going to start talking about The Office and T's review of the. I'm kidding. He popped in. He popped in on our show too. We did a late show Tuesday night on the Geek Spot, and just as Dom popped in, it was right when Jack was going through his Office rant. And Dom was like, "I'm out."
Jack's loathing of The Office always cracks me up.
It's my favorite part.
It really cracks me up.
It's the best. I'm gonna cut all that up one day.
Then we cut to outside, And R-Truth is standing outside with the "Let's Go Cena" sign and
Foreshadowing.
foreshadowing at its finest. And I did speak to this a few weeks ago. I want this to lead to something. I think it is gonna lead to
I'm
something.
pretty sure it's already been confirmed, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah. But he's standing outside holding the "Let's Go Cena" sign. Jimmy comes out there, and they have a really funny dynamic, and I think that's gonna lead to a match later on at some point in time. Then we get a recap of Zelina beating up Piper Niven, and then we go to a tag team match. Or no, we go backstage, and once again, Chelsea Green is the greatest thing
She
on
is.
WWE television. She has the candles eu eulogizing. She said, Eula girling?
Little girling.
Yeah, Eula girling the US championship. That's eulogies for girlies. That's her words, not mine.
Mhm.
Um, and she's just in all black, and it's so funny to me. Like, there's nothing that she could do that doesn't work for me because it's all just hilarious.
It's great.
I enjoyed that. So that sets up a tag team match later, and Zelina says she has a friend, or she and Chelsea doesn't believe her because she's like, "How could you have a friend? You're a loser." And 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 they set up a match between Chelsea and Piper, and I love seeing Chelsea and Piper tagging together
Yeah.
again. And we come back from commercial, and
Trish Stratus came out. It was great.
uh, you know, there's only a few people who are better than Trish Stratus whose
Uh-huh.
music plays, and Alexa Bliss's music plays, and I was completely surprised.
Same.
Did not see that coming.
Nope.
And very odd tagging, very odd pairing of Zelina Vega and Alexa Bliss, but it doesn't matter because we get Alexa Bliss on our TV screen.
It doesn't matter what you make.
Okay. Alexa heard me saying
Yep.
Alexa Bliss.
I changed most of mine in my house to computer, so I have to say computer to get it to turn on.
I'm gonna have to unplug this before.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alexa came out to the shock of everyone. And they had a hell of a little match together.
They did. They did. That was a very like Alexa Bliss, she gave birth. She kind of said she wasn't coming back. And then she comes back and it's like she really hasn't missed a step.
No.
She is phenomenal in the ring, man. She looks a little better actually to me.
She is one of those. There's women that just do go move to move to move, and then there's women that can wrestle, and she can actually wrestle. Like she can stand tall with like the Rhea and with Io, maybe not Io, but she can stand tall with the other women wrestling. And Dom, you're right. She is hot. For some reason, she not only is she wrestling better, but she looks better now than she did 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, I did post that picture of her and her mother. Her mother looks like her sister.
God.
Like her mother looks like her sister.
Yeah.
So they're both aging backwards.
God bless them.
Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega won. Great finish to this match. Chelsea goes for the unprettier, gets turned around. And when Alexa Bliss does the Sister Abigail, it looks so clean. It really looks great. She is phenomenal.
Yep.
I hope that she stays. And I always say I don't like saying that because maybe people have other things in their life that they're dealing with real life.
Sure.
But for my benefit as a wrestling fan, I hope she sticks around. I hope she's a everydayer.
She did give a little side eye to the belt. And I know they tease that with a lot of people, but she kind of gave a little side eye to the belt.
As she should.
And that wasn't the end of her for the evening.
It wasn't.
No.
Oh no, it was. It was not. It was not.
No.
Because my queen. Well,
Mm.
not my queen. My queen's Nia Jax, but the queen Charlotte Flair arrived, and Alexa slams the door, and they kind of give each other a stare down. And every bit of me was like, I want to see that. And whatever, because I heard a few things on the internet saying that they might be forming a faction. Don't
Well,
want to see that.
it was weird when she slammed the door and they had that moment, and then you really couldn't hear because the crowd was cheering
Mhm.
when the camera kind of pulled back, and Alexa just looked at her and went, "Let's talk," and that was it.
I don't want them to talk about. I don't want them together. I want them to fight each other. I want.
Uh,
I-
I'm wondering, like, I don't know the direction they're going to take her because Charlotte's supposed to get repackaged. She's crashing out. Like, that seems to be the big thing with wrestling right now is people crashing out.
yes.
Um, and that's like that seems to be the popular gimmick, for lack of a tease for later, is
Yeah.
crashing out. And Charlotte's been crashing out. There's talk about repackaging her character. That's fine. She definitely needs a little freshen up. You don't have to change her too much. You just have to adjust her character a little bit. But I don't understand Alexa because Alexa's leaning hard into the Wyatt stuff still with the look and the clothing and and the move set. I don't want her to go back to the goddess necessarily, but if they do that, they need to completely. I mean, I think that's going to completely flush the Wyatt Six down the toilet at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe it's for the best because this era of wrestling that we're in doesn't really lean into that supernatural. Like Aleister Black isn't so much supernaturally right now.
Yeah.
So maybe you can pivot him to them. I don't know.
I don't think it leans to it because, in all honesty, once the bell rings, the aura is gone.
Yeah.
That was not the case with Bray Wyatt.
No.
Like when the bell rang, it was like, oh snap, he's about to snap and really have a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that when the bell rings and Eric Rowan's in the match. No knock on him. Eric Rowan's a great wrestler. But when what's the other two? Joe
Dexter
Gacy
Lumis.
and Dexter Loomis. Once that I remember they had a match on Raw. When the bell rang, the packaging, they come out there, everybody's cheering, everything's dark. The music is phenomenal, like the Shattered. Holy smokes, man. That is
chills.
That's up there as one of the greatest theme music you can have. But then once the lights come on and the bell rings, it's like I'm bored. Like
Right.
what
Right.
What's for dinner? Like
exactly.
I'm ready to go eat something because this match is not. They tried, but it simply didn't work. And Nikki Cross hasn't had a match in a long time.
No.
I love Nikki Cross as a wrestler. I think they need to lean more into her wrestling. Her as Sister Abigail really would work if they just allow her to just go in there and take that crazy gimmick, but actually turn it a little more supernaturally. I think she could work more in line of what Alexa Bliss was doing, but just with a little more crazy, like a little more like a Samara. Is that her name from the Ring? Like more of that.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they don't at all, but
yeah, I do understand. And with the Wyatt 6, it was going to be a tough sell anyway. After the death of Bray Wyatt, to me, and then it just started off so great.
Yep,
and
they tried.
It couldn't keep up. Yeah,
no.
It couldn't keep up that. I saw that, and I didn't want to say it out loud because I wish everybody to do well in whatever they're doing. And just the idea of Bo Dallas or Bo Rotunda getting back into the ring, he deserved all of the cheers that he got, but it kind of wasn't sustainable.
No.
But back to SmackDown, we get the number one contenders match between Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. Those two work really well together.
Yeah, they do.
I thought that match was so much better than the match between Tiffy and Jade Cargill. Those two really work well together. Of course, there was shenanigans to finish off the match. Naomi is not done with Jade
Not
by
by a
any
long
stretch
shot.
of the match.
Not by a long shot.
I love this Naomi character now because she comes out there and you talk about crashing out. Like she's just out there yelling and just doing stuff. And it's
Mhm.
funny. Tiffy comes out. She gets into it with Nia Jax. And Nia ends up winning the match because of the interference by Naomi. And man, I want Nia Jax to beat Tiffany Stratton. I think that the women's division is stronger with Nia Jax as the champion.
I am not a big fan of Nia Jax. She's better this run around than she was the first time she ran through. I've just never been a big fan of her.
I do understand that. There are not a lot of people who are fans of Nia Jax. She has a few, and I'm one of them.
Yep.
She's definitely on my island of relevancy. But I just there's something about this run with Tiffany, and everybody's first title run is never great. No, I don't think anybody's truly, other than maybe Kurt Angle, but I don't even think his first run was really great as well.
Probably
Just have
not.
a truly great first title run. They get the belt, everybody turns on them, and then they lose the belt. And then the second time, that second and third time, that's when they kind of really pick up steam
Right.
and become like a champion's champion. But yeah, Nia wins. She's now the number one contender, which it had to be that. I don't think they want another Jade and Tiffany match for another year or so.
Right.
Then we get this weird backstage interaction between B-Fab, Michin, and the Street Profits.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was. And what you call it? Legado del Fantasma attacked Rey Fenix.
Yes.
And then Nick
Yes.
Aldis made a Phoenix and Andrade versus Las Garzas. And the interaction that was weird. That felt so awkwardly forced.
Yes.
Like it just was weird.
They're trying to, once again, the LDF vortex is a real thing. And I think they're trying to get Andrade over by
Yeah.
association with Rey Fenix, but that never works because if that was the case, then the LWO would be the most popular group on Monday
Right.
Night Raw because
Right.
you're next to Rey Mysterio, who is one of the most popular characters of all time, but they don't care about the people next to him. They only care about him. And the same thing happens in this tag match because Andrade, once again, world-class wrestler. You
Yep.
cannot. Once the bell rings, Andrade can go.
Yep.
He's just boring. Like he just has no character. He has no
No.
personality. He's
No.
just the rich. He plays the Mexican aristocrat, much like Alberto Del Rio. And it just doesn't work. Like nothing about his character works. But what did work was Fraxian versus Street Profits.
That was a good, fun match.
That was a damn good match. And I don't understand why they did it like this. Like, I understand you're trying to get Fraxian over, but like put him in Street Profits in the second match. Montez mentioned something about that. Like, you guys think that you deserve a title shot? Like, this is your second match. You won one match against Los Garza.
And it wasn't even a title match. They just gave them a match against them, which is kind of an odd thing too.
Very odd.
It was a little bit of a slower match, but it was a really good, slower but well paced.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes, it was. The Street Profits, they're selling that they just had a TLC match 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And it changed them. Montez is still coming out with the tape. He's taped up. He's wrapped up around his waist from the carnage of the TLC match. And Fraxium got the win. Very competitive match. There wasn't no shenanigans, which was good. I think Fraxium's going to take the titles off the Street Profits, which is really going to upset me.
It'll upset me because I think the Street Profits need a run to at minimum SummerSlam. Minimum.
Correct.
Because they've been workhorses all along. Fraxium's good, but they're going to be good for a long time. You don't need to put the belt, like the machine guns came in, got the belts right away, lost them. You don't need to keep churning the belts over like that. Add some longevity. You know, the Usos ran them for what, a year plus?
Yeah,
2 years almost?
almost.
Yeah. So it was a year plus. And they had all the belts. And I understand that was the bloodline story, but Triple H likes to give the champions longer runs. You know, Cody had a year's run. I think if Cena didn't retire, if Cena wasn't going to retire, and I think Cody would still be champion. I think the only reason he lost was to give Cena this last run. Otherwise, I think Cody would have held on to that belt.
Yes.
They're not doing that with the tag champs. The women's tag champs, they lose them, they get them right back. They lose them, they get them right back. And we'll get there when we get to Raw.
Yeah. Those women tag team titles. But yeah, Fraxium got the win. There was a backstage interaction. DIY comes in and just before that, we had the Motor City Machine Guns giving them props. Hey, you guys got to win. You guys pick the bones. And then DIY just comes and obliterates everybody. Thank goodness Tommaso Ciampa's beard is coming back, because him without the beard was not a good look at all.
Let me tell you what. I shaved my beard off a couple years ago. It's not a fun look. Does not help us. Nope.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It didn't help Ciampa, because Ciampa has a weird face already.
Yep, and I just have a fat face.
He has his beard's coming back, but that excited me, because that just showed me that it was a little different. Same, but a little different.
Right.
It just showed me how good this tag team division could be if you just continue to give them stories.
Yep.
And continue to make it interesting. Yeah, each team is going to fight each other 500 times, because you don't have that many teams to split it all up, but just keep it interesting, right? And I think they will. I think Fraxium and DIY are going to have some bangers. Fraxium and the Motor City Machine Guns will have some bangers. And Los Garza is going to be in there somewhere as well. But those are some good tag teams. And I think there's a lot of space for them to have some good matches, and pretty deadly. Like SmackDown tag team division could be stale, but they just have to write it to keep it
for now
somewhat fresh
until the draft.
That's true too.
What's up, Matt?
Man, we're gonna talk about tag teams when we get to Raw. The Raw tag teams are just upsetting me so bad. But we get the Fraxium win. Then we get Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes. Solid match. Not the match I thought it would be, but I think we have a lot. I think we're going to have a lot more there. Black wins with a small package. Then he just obliterates the Miz face with a black mask, because the Miz just kept getting involved.
That's yeah.
I like it. I need Carmelo to come out of this with a win.
I think this is the wrong feud and the wrong pairing for the both of them, because you don't want to have Aleister lose, but you also want to start pushing Carmelo, and you don't want to have him keep losing, because he's doing a lot of losing too. I know he'll get his wins and he'll start climbing the ladder, but right now he's taking a bunch of L's too, and it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look. And I don't like the Carmelo Miz pairing. It doesn't click right. This one feels forced.
Super forced. They're trying to use, I don't necessarily think Carmelo needs the Miz.
No, not at all.
To make him a better character.
No, he was fine without him.
He was completely fine without him. There's just some really bad writing on SmackDown that's really hurting him more than anything.
Yeah.
They're not putting him in the right position to be successful. I think he is definitely one person who's going to benefit from the brand split from a draft. getting to go over to Raw, getting some better writing, having some better matches. Him and Chad Gable are gonna have some bangers. He's awesome. I hate that. Every
I
time they
can't
say it,
stand
it
it.
makes me upset.
Nope. I can't stand it.
It doesn't sound good. It
No,
doesn't feel good.
it's too forced.
Bring up Trick Williams, damn it. Let's get Mello and Trick back together. Trick Mello gang on any brand works. And I think they will be probably one of the best tag teams that you can have on either one of the brands if you do it that way.
Yes, Matt, you said it correctly. Awesome.
Yeah. Yes. You did. We got the Los Garza Phoenix match with Andrade. That match.
Yeah.
Phoenix is over.
Yep.
He spams a lot of high flying moves, and I'm tired of seeing I'll be totally honest, I'm tired of seeing Los Garza on my TV screen. Like they just keep eating losses. They're just there to lose, and that's no fun either.
No. Go Birds.
I'm gonna act like I didn't see that.
Just for anybody that missed it, Matt in the chat said that Trick Williams was on the Eagles practice squad, and then we both said Go Birds. Just in case, just because the team missed that. I get scrolled by so fast you didn't say it. Go Birds.
It definitely scrolled. Yeah. Then we got to the highlight of the night. Definitely not that comment. Was not the highlight of the night. We got John Cena.
Listen, I say it every time we talk about John Cena. His entrance is the best entrance going right now. All black, just his name in white letters, belt turned backwards, making the guy re-say his name in his entrance. I love it. I love his entrance.
Then somebody threw a Michelob Light at him, or Michelob Ultra at him.
So while I'm watching that, I thought maybe that was a plant, right? You know, they'll plant guys in the crowd to do some stuff and to interact. That was legit.
Yeah,
that was legit. The dude got kicked out, and now there's a ban on open containers in the lower levels at all WWE events.
Oh wow, I did not read that.
Yep,
that is interesting.
That guy was legit a fan and just threw the beer, and it worked. It didn't hit him. It hit the ring, and he picked it up, and he just looked at it, and he shook his head like, "You're proving my point," and that's fine.
Perfect. Cena has really done nothing wrong. He runs Randy down. Woo. And what was so good about that segment was the crowd. The crowd didn't know how to react because everything he was saying was a fact.
Yep.
Like nothing he said, and the crowd was so quiet because they couldn't boo him because he's out there spitting facts. They want to cheer. Like everybody wants to cheer John Cena. Like no matter what you think or what you say, you want to cheer John Cena.
He insulted Orton's dad. He insulted his granddad. He brought up his failed drug test. Like he went in.
Yes. It was beautiful. Like it was a great promo. And you're right. The just like in 2006, Randy, you're gonna be just like your drug test in 2006. You're gonna be a failure.
It's
like what?
I love when they do stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. He went over, hustle, loyalty, respect. You only here because your dad, because you're a third generation wrestler and you didn't do anything to earn it. And everything he was saying was the things people were saying about Randy Orton early in his career, like immature.
And I like that they're letting each other lean into that real stuff. It works. Works for me.
You know what? People do that because they know that if he touches them, they're gonna sue him. That's
lots of money.
They know. Like, of course he could beat the guy. That guy looked like, man, it looked like if John Cena would have jumped he wouldn't have got 2 steps. John Cena would have been on top of him in no time.
Yep.
And but they do that because they know nobody's gonna touch them because if they do.
But the dude got kicked right out.
Yeah, as he should have.
Yeah, don't throw shit in the ring.
I mean, unless it's Hogan and
unless it's Hogan
Beach.
Yeah, that's fine. That was awesome.
that was. But yeah, he ran down Randy Orton. Then what people are saying is the luckiest man in WWE, Miles Bourne, was under the mask.
The
He comes
luckiest
in,
man in wrestling.
yeah,
Period.
Baby Orton himself comes in there under the mask, and Cena sees it, counters the RKO, and hits him with an AA, and just stands there with that shit-eating grin on his face.
Yep.
And then once again, Randy Orton, the camera work was perfect because he just slides in right behind him, and the crowd goes nuts. He gives him the "You Can't See Me," turns around, RKO, and he does a cardinal sin. He kisses the belt and he stands over him with the belt to end SmackDown.
Just for those that might not know why that man is the luckiest man in wrestling, that is Stephanie Vacar's boyfriend.
Miles Bourne, he's the number one contender for the NXT Championship also.
Well, yes, he is. Randy, John Cena died in the ring again, and that's the one thing Cena's doing. When he gets hit with a move at the end of a show, he's out. He's done. And he just flops and dies. And it's great. It's hilarious. If I could speak Spanish, Matt, I would. It would up me. Look, SmackDown was better this week.
Yes.
But not great.
No.
It still is very, 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 very rough around the edges. Mm-hmm. Very, by the way. Just in case you don't, very.
Too much time. It's simply, I think it comes that when it goes back to 2 hours and it's tighter,
yep.
I think you're going to get a lot better stories. You're not going to drag things out so much. We're not going to have, those moments where it just seems like, I mean, as long as they keep R-Truth on my screen, I'm okay.
Yes.
But everything else, the backstage segments, other than Chelsea Green stuff, just a lot of times just comes off awkward. And yeah, they really need to cut it down to 2 hours. And I don't know if it was you put it in the groups. I remember reading it somewhere. They were talking about after not Money in the Bank, but
it's like in June sometime.
The event in Saudi Arabia, they were talking about going back down to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I hope so. Because I think you're going to get a better product. And we're seeing that with Raw. The 2.5 hours, 2 hours shows, it's a lot tighter.
It's a lot tighter.
But speaking of tighter, right? So a lot of people were complaining that Backlash was only 5 matches. I would like to see 7 matches. I would like to see 8 matches.
That's the Triple H formula.
It is. The smaller pay-per-views don't need to be 5 hours.
No.
This one was a little under 3, I think it was, or may have ended right at 3.
It was like, I think it ended at like 9:45, almost 10 o'clock. It was not. But now, so I got friends that sometimes they grab us after we're off the air here, and I'm in a chat with a bunch of guys that one guy said that this was a glorified episode of Raw, and I totally disagreed with him. I totally disagreed with him. This might be one of the first PLEs. I got to get used to calling them that. I still call them pay-per-views. The first
they're pay-per-views to me.
Always. It's still one of the first pay-per-views in a long time where I thought every match was really good, and I think the whole pay-per-view was better than night 1 of WrestleMania as a whole.
Oh, for sure. Every match brought it. So if you've been watching wrestling for more than a year or 2 years, there's a specific way they structure each show. Right, you got your high-flying matches, you got your brawls, you got gimmick matches. And when you have 5 matches, you can do a lot of different things and not do the same thing twice.
Yep.
And that's what made Backlash special. They didn't do the same thing twice.
No.
They had great matches. And even though Pat McAfee is not a full-time wrestler,
listen,
he still told a great story in there.
And that's what I said to my friend. He's like, "What story did he tell?" I'm like, "I can't explain it all for you.
Yeah.
If you're not catching it, or if you're not watching it later, and like, going back and maybe reading a little bit, because sometimes I'll have to do that. I'll miss stuff and I'll have to go back and I'll read a recap that like fills in some blanks that I missed, and I'll go, okay, I see what they're doing now.
Yes. So Backlash, I did not write these matches down.
I got them.
I don't have the notes. I remember the matches. I don't remember the order.
Right. So the first match was the 4-way for the US belt. Jacob Fatu versus Drew versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest. And they all got time to come out. They all got a little bit of an entrance. So it wasn't rushed. Yes. And I think they did that specifically because they knew they had the time, and you didn't have 7 matches, so you could give, and everybody got a good entrance all throughout the night. It wasn't rushed. You didn't have like on SmackDown, Joe Tessitore was talking, didn't even know a commercial break was coming off. They cut him off in the middle of him talking. Like, this is a great, great, great match. What's Big E say? Man meat, slapping meat.
Yes. Big meaty men.
Big meaty men slapping. I mean, it had a little bit of everything in it. And everybody got a chance to shine at a different moment. And they did different pairs, got chances to shine. And I'm pretty sure Damian Priest killed Drew.
Yes. That's what I was getting. Man.
Yeah.
There was those two. So as they were fighting outside, what I was thinking was, what's LA Knight and Jacob Fatu doing? Because I've been to events where things that happen, especially in like triple threats and multi-man matches, where people are just laying outside the ring for like 20 minutes, where they're dead for 20 minutes while other people are getting their stuff in.
Sometimes they'll interact with the crowd. They'll say stuff to the people right there, and yeah.
But Damian and Drew, it kind of reminded me of Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman.
Yep.
When they just were outside trying to really kill each other, or Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, whoever you want to, because Damian Priest hit Drew McIntyre with that South of Heaven off of some high thing onto supposed to be some tables, but it looked like they might have missed some of the tables.
He missed the tables, and he basketball dribbled his head off the concrete.
Yes.
Ooh.
Man, you know what? Drew McIntyre is still my WWE MVP because no matter what he does, it always looks great. He always makes somebody else look great.
Yep.
But at the same time, he still looks like the Scottish psychopath. Like he still looks great.
100%.
And losing. Great damn match, man.
It was. And after the two of them killed each other off in the crowd, we get back to LA Knight and Jacob. And then Solo comes out to play shenanigans.
And then my guy, not really my guy. Boy, he looks so small compared to everybody else. Jeff Cobb shows up.
Yep.
If you don't know who Jeff Cobb is a New Japan guy. He's kind of been around. He's an MLW guy. He grew up in Hawaii. He's Filipino, so he's not Samoan. A lot of people are saying he's Samoan.
Right.
He's not Samoan, but he is, down with Solo. I won't say he's down with Jacob and Solo because Jacob looked like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why are you guys here infringing on my matches? I could have beat him without you. But Jeff Cobb shows up, and he just looks small compared to everybody else, which I don't know if that's a good thing. But he's a big, meaty man.
Yep.
And I like to see where they go with him, but that helps.
I think he has history in other promotions with Jacob. I think they have wrestling history in other promotions, which with this new way of the way WWE handles outside promotions, they'll talk about it and they'll be able to talk about that history. Vince would have been like, no, he just showed up.
He would have named him Samoa Jeff.
Doink the
That would have
Samoan
been
or something
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. He would have even though he's not Samoan,
Right.
he would have said he's Samoan, and
Right.
his name is Samoa Jeff now.
Yeah.
Like
That would have been it.
that
Yep.
would have definitely been it. But I mean, to me, that didn't take away from the match.
No, not at all. Because he
And
didn't really interfere in the match
yeah.
so much. And the reaction from Jacob was great.
I love that more than anything was because one, we've kind of solidified Jacob as just a generational badass. That match, he's taken on 3 badasses.
Yep.
Like he's taken on 3 guys. He didn't run from them. He doesn't do the traditional heel thing where he's cowering. No, I'm gonna beat all y'all. I'm a dog walk y'all ass, like he says. I'm a
Mhm.
dog walk every single one of y'all. And he did. Like he got his stuff off. Everybody else looked good, but I thought he looked great coming out of that match.
Yep. 100%. And the next match we moved to was one I really wasn't sure how it was going to play out. Lyra Valkyria with her stupid bird arms versus Becky Lynch. I'm sorry, the bird arms are dumb. They're dumb.
That's
Okay.
like one of the
Walking
only
around
times
with-
that I like her. Like
I like
doing-
her as a wrestler, but the dumb bird arms got to go. Okay. Like figure something else out, do something else, like something else. But walk into the ring with your arms up like bird arms, stop. At that point, I just want Becky to run down and punch her in the mouth because you're standing there with dumb bird arms. Just stop. But that aside, this was a hell of a match. This was a much better match than I thought it would be. They really, really, really made Lyra look good.
You guys have heard me over the last few weeks just completely be disinterested in Lyra Valkyria and everything.
Same.
Not the biggest fan of Becky on the mic either during this whole interaction. But boy, oh boy, I was sitting there and I wanted to hate the match. Like I really did. I sat there, I watched the match late, and golly, these 2 women, this reminds me of Rhea and Charlotte.
Yeah.
When they didn't get a chance to main event WrestleMania 2 years ago.
Yep.
And they just went out there and had a banger match.
Yep.
These 2 had such great chemistry. And one of my biggest knocks on Lyra during her wrestling matches is all her moves felt choreographed. Like she's spamming moves together. She
Yes.
could do a lot of moves in a little bit of time. None of it felt like that in this match. Everything felt organic. Everything felt earned. She's soul in this match. Becky Lynch soul in this match. They put on one of the best women's matches that I've seen in quite some time.
I 100% agree.
And I'm saying that after the triple threat of WrestleMania. And that was a great women's match as well. But those 2 really had a damn good match. Like a match of the year candidate type match. That had no business being that good. And Lyra did come out of that looking a lot better. You said it. I said it. We all thought Becky was coming out of this with the title.
But what ended up happening was Becky actually elevated the title and her by losing.
Correct.
And at that same time, changed her character into something else now. Now she's embracing this. She reads the internet. She knows people are calling her Becky Hogan. And when we get to Raw, but there was a post-match beatdown, and that's fine. Becky tried to cheat a couple times. It didn't go her way. This is going to be a feud that keeps going down the line, but at the same time, I'm wondering what is going on with Bayley during all this. Like, you admitted to attacking Bayley, and you're still keeping Bayley off TV. It feels almost like a slap in the face.
So, did you watch the Chris Van Fleet interview with Bayley?
A little bit. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I think Bayley might be done, man. Like, I think Bayley is taking her ball and like, you know what? You guys have kind of.
I don't blame her at this point. They're not putting
Yeah.
her on TV. They're the way Becky came back, and again, we said it the last time we did the show, like it's Becky Hogan, like, it's how it felt. Becky pushed for this angle to happen, for her to be there.
Jonathan Coachman, bless his heart, the coach.
Yeah.
He does a podcast, and I don't know if you heard his comments on Bailey saying that he doesn't think she brings anything to the table, and it's like, dude, she's Bailey, man. Like Bailey.
Some of his stuff is a little. It just feels like he's like addictive.
Yeah. Yes. They burnt him while he was there, and he's holding a grudge like 20 years later.
Yeah.
But like Bailey's on my Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers. Like I think Bailey is the best wrestler out of the 4 horsewomen. I'll be totally honest.
I mean, has always been a Bailey fan, even when we used to make fun of Pam all the time. Me and a couple of my friends.
I love Bailey. Like I'm a huge Bailey fan, and not just because BBL Bailey. Like she's a beautiful woman, but a damn good wrestler.
Absolutely.
And I don't think and she said it. She said it on the interview. She thinks that Charlotte and Becky are up here, and she's just not, and that's sad.
That's not true.
I don't believe that either. But if she believes it, and she's the person living it, she's like, yeah, I'm not up there. That's sad, because that means that whoever it is, I'm not saying this is all Triple H, because he's not really the only person making these decisions.
Right.
But whoever it is, them not seeing that stuff. Everywhere Bailey goes, she gets cheered.
It's making me more and more want to see this behind the scenes show that's coming out this summer, to see maybe where there was a disconnect with her, or where they pivoted from her at some point.
Yeah, because that's just, she definitely deserves more than that for what she's done. The pandemic era, she carried WWE during the pandemic era. Like she carried them. Ding Dong Hello was hilarious. Like that whole gimmick, that whole time during the Thunderdome era. And I know a lot of it is they're trying to put that behind them, and they want to forget all of that stuff happened. But man, she was the MVP. Her and Drew were the MVP during that time, and she deserves a lot better. But back to Becky and Lyra, to kind of put a pin in that. I said it, and I mean it. I will never say another bad thing about Lyra Valkyria again until she talks on the mic again. Until she talks on the mic again.
Right.
No, I you know what? She won me over, because they had a damn good match, and it might just be because those two have really good chemistry. But she's a damn good wrestler, man.
She is. They both. I mean, that her wrestling elevated Becky's wrestling in that match too, and it was great, and it led into another banger of a match.
It did.
Which I still think, my man, they need to pay Sade some money and let my man Penta come out one time to Smooth Operator. One time. Just once. Let it happen.
Man. So Penta has new music. I don't know who the guitarist is. I've heard his name a few times. But he has like a popular guitarist doing the guitar riff on his intro music. So much damn pyro. Come on. Like so many flames behind him. Him and Ray have this like
Adam Jones from Tool.
Yeah. So his entrance is immaculate. He's taking on Dom. And I don't know if you've seen a clip of him doing an interview when they ask him about Dom, and he just goes off and starts cussing. Like, no. I just saw this clip maybe 10 minutes ago, or 10 minutes before we went on air. It's hilarious. He's doing an interview with two people on some wrestling podcast, and they asked him about Dom, and he just goes.
That's awesome.
And it was so funny. He starts cussing, and they start censoring it. That's awesome. I told you guys not to ask me about that guy. And Dom's going on a generational run. He's on everybody's podcast saying he's the greatest. And it's so good, though. He's so good. He's so good at his character, and
He's
he's
a
become
20-year
such.
veteran.
Yes, yes. I mean, if I got put on a hung up on a pole and between my dad and the guy who thinks he's my dad, I probably would grow up to be a great wrestler too.
Yeah.
Um,
I think this was his best match to date.
correct.
This was his
Yes.
best match to date. Even with the Judgment Day shenanigans, it just was such a fun match.
There was a part where he jumped out, or Penta jumped out at him, and he caught him and DDT'd him outside the ring. And I was
Yes.
like, where did that come from?
Yep. We went a little crazy in the chat.
That was insane.
Yes.
That was one of the best, and everybody can't. Only 0.0001% of wrestlers can really pull something like that off. And he gets up and he flexes. I said, Dom,
Yep.
he has it. He has it now.
He does.
He always had the heat, but now he has the ring psychology. He has the wrestling base. And he really might go down as the greatest luchador of all time.
He
Because
could.
he's still young.
Yep.
And he has charisma. He has character. And him and Penta probably is going to be a generational feud.
They have great chemistry. Dom came out, his gear was an homage to his godfather, Psychosis.
Yes.
Right? Who knew? Like, it's so cool how interconnected things are.
Correct.
And if you don't know Psychosis, he was a wrestler in WCW, right?
One of the most underrated cruiserweights, because man, WCW had a great run with those cruiserweights.
They did.
They would open up Nitro every Monday and just tear the house down.
So they had a hell of a match, and then Judgment Day comes out. Carlito distracts the ref. Finn and JD go to interfere. Finn hesitated.
Yes.
Just a couple of seconds. They got thrown out of the match. And then the greatest current luchador in the history of luchadors made an appearance with metal in his mask one more time and gave Penta a headbutt. El Grande Americano, the greatest luchador of our time.
There you go. I mean, it's going to take a lot for Dom to like surpass him.
Right.
But I think he could do it. It'll take a lot though, because El Grande Americano is the preeminent luchador.
He is.
Of all time, even with the purchase of AAA.
I agree.
But he came out. And I can't help but laugh because there are people who really hate that. Like there are people who really hate him and they hate the gimmick.
I think it's the worst, corniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it's gone all the way around from this is so stupid to, oh my God, this is so awesome.
Yes.
And it didn't take long to make that circle.
The only reason I'm behind it is because I'm just behind Chad Gable. I want Chad Gable to win at everything he does in wrestling because I think he's a great wrestler.
Yes.
And I'm totally behind it because even though we don't technically know that Chad Gable is
correct,
El Grande Americano,
it's the rumor. Michael Cole thinks it, but Pat keeps correcting him.
Yes, he does.
Pat keeps correcting him. So Pat didn't get to correct him this time.
No, not on Saturday because he was in a match.
Look. Pat McAfee was never going to put on a 5-star match. Okay. Gunther carried that match around. But Pat, God, man, that man took a beating and a half, got a couple of licks in. Michael Cole grabbing Gunther's leg to hold him like Bobby Heenan did back in the day. Right. It was a fun match that told a really good little story about the guy just standing up for his friend, trying to get some respect. And in the end, he got the respect. Gunther shook his hand, gave him the hat.
Yes, Gunther doesn't do that for everybody.
No. And I think this was I think Gunther was sliding, right? I hate Meltzer. Okay, man.
Yeah.
I hate him. So if Meltzer gave it 5 stars, I'd give it 0.
I know for a fact Meltzer didn't give it like there's
Gunther's
no way.
character was sliding,
Mhm.
and this jumped him all the way back up because, as we'll see in a few minutes on Monday night, he came out old Gunther style.
Yes. Yes.
And
No suit on. But yeah.
This was a good little story. They definitely milked it a lot longer than they could have.
Mhm.
I watched the beginning of Pat's show the next day, and his chest was he was just all like those
yeah.
slaps were slaps. They were man
Oh,
slaps.
yeah. So Pat got a few shots in on Gunther, and Pat doesn't do a good working punch or working chop. It really looked like he was hitting Gunther with everything he had, and Gunther was taking it and just like laughing at him.
Yep.
Great match. Michael Cole really sold that match on commentary. Like, and Gunther kept looking back at him, smiling, which I loved. That was a little touch of that match that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Was Gunther's look at Michael Cole like, "This is your boy.
Yeah.
I'm beating your boy's ass," and he did. He gave Pat a good old fashioned beating. But Pat, Pat put on a good show.
My favorite part of that match had to be the Bobby Heenan moment because it was just because I mean, how many times have we watched that as yelling at the TV? It was great.
And Cole's trying to sell it. He's hiding, like holding his leg down. Like, such a
and you could
great
see Gunther almost broke a few times, like laughing in that match because
correct.
Pat tried to jump over the top rope and tripped and fell, but got right up and went right and like did not miss the spot. He just stumbled and got up and went, and that's great. He's got a decent ring presence. He's just not a wrestler. He's just very athletic still.
Correct. He's a wrestling fan, and I feel like that was his dream. He wanted to get a match in, and I think Backlash was a perfect opportunity for him to get that match.
Yeah, Backlash is usually like a C- pay-per-view.
Correct.
Correct. And then we get the main event.
Boy, so I'll be totally honest. I was really nervous that this match was going to be a disaster.
I was also worried that it was going to be a disaster and it would get to a point where it got so sloppy that John Cena had to slap the ref just to stop the match because look, Cena can't go like he used to be able to go.
No.
But he went in this match.
Yes. Once again, there's certain people who are just perfect for each other, right? They're just, no matter what you do, no matter how the stars are in the sky, when those two people get around each other, the stars just align themselves perfectly. Those two, John Cena said it on Friday, they've had 100 matches, over 100 matches with each other. So they know each other perfectly. Randy knows his strengths and limitations. John knows Randy's strengths and limitations. And they put on a good old-fashioned wrestling match. Were they Dom and Penta? No. But they were John and Randy. And that's what we expected them to be.
And you could clearly see John calling that match as they were going.
Oh my God.
He always does. And and you know what? It didn't really take away from it.
I laughed because he was like shouting it at him.
There were some great table spots. They stole finishers. The ref bump. Okay. Here comes another ref bump. Okay. It felt like it was going to get to the point where it was a little overbooked. And
it was.
And then after
because all of those people came out there.
After the second official showed up and all the producers and everyone came in the ring, and then smooth as silk, Randy Nick Aldis, Jamie, Hurricane got one. Everybody got an RKO. And as the ring cleared, there's John in the corner, ready, waiting. Here comes Randy. Randy's about to snap and finally get the punt in that he's been trying. He's been trying to punt someone for months now.
And John hit him with a smooth A. That was a good one.
He did, but before he could get the punt in, Here comes R-Truth.
Oh
And
God, yeah,
nowhere,
yes.
R-Truth slides into the ring and stops him from punting him. Which, again, I didn't even see that coming. And it was hilarious. Because R-Truth ate an RKO.
That's John Cena, man.
John Cena gave him the
Yes.
low blow.
Yep. Then the belt.
Hit him with the belt. And I'm pretty sure he's used the belt for every pin so far.
Yes. That has become his gimmick.
Uh-huh. And just as he pins him, the ref happens to crawl back in.
Of course.
And
come on.
John Cena retained the title. It was a fun match. It was a little overbooked at the end, but it was still a fun match. And that match opens up a door to two different matches, because there's people that hate the post pay-per-view press conferences because they're trying to make it sports-like. I think it's hilarious if done right. And this one was done right.
It could be, yes.
Take the Jacob Fatu interview out, didn't care. Like, I love him, didn't care. Triple H comes out, sits down and starts talking about all the numbers. John Cena walks out, leans down and whispers to him and asks him if he can have the time he wants to sit and he has some stuff to say. And I was like, oh, okay. John Cena sits down and in measured tones starts talking to the reporters and telling them how he has to be better. He's the champion. He's going to answer all their questions. And I had a moment where I was like, oh, is the turnover? Are we getting him kind of going back the other way? And then here comes R-Truth. and saying some stuff, and John tells him to stop, and R-Truth gives him a line about, I don't even know, people say you can't wrestle and you suck. And John stands up and tells him if he says one more word, there's going to be repercussions. And John Cena is so measured in what he says. And there goes Truth. Got to continue what he's saying. Boom. The FU, F5, whatever the hell it is now.
Yeah.
Right through the table in the press conference. And John Cena walks out without answering any questions.
Of course. Perfect.
I think
that was perfect.
I think this is setting up R-Truth versus John Cena for the belt at Saturday Night Main Event. It's the perfect little show to give you that little match before John goes on to what's next, which is probably CM Punk or something like that for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
This is a good build towards that. It gives two men with the same amount of moves a match. It could be a fun little match. Obviously, Truth's not winning the belt, but holy crap, could you imagine?
There are going to be people in that audience who are so invested, because R-Truth, say what you want about him, whether you like comedy, you don't like comedy, the man is over.
He's a national treasure.
And if he's not over at the start of the match, by the end of the match, he's going to have you so invested in this. He's going to make you laugh. He's going to make you cry by the end of the match because he's going to lose. Yes. Unfortunately, I really would have loved to see him win the title once. I think it's gonna be just a fun match.
Sure. Absolutely.
I look forward to this. Definitely, there's definitely respect there. Like, of course. And there's always that old story of, like, those two didn't like each other. Like, the old story of, like, when I think when Truth came from TNA, it was like, is him and John Cena gonna really have a fight? Which is funny.
Yeah.
But I'm here for that. I did not expect Truth to show up at Backlash. But it made the match a lot better to me because I love R-Truth, everything he does, and that was a bit of storytelling. After the match, though, there was a moment where the crowd just starts cheering Cena. Like, they do that thing now where the graphic comes up and they cut out, but if you're a Peacock subscriber, you can still see, like, the next fight. And I'm assuming that sometime there's going to be a payoff for that, where something big is going to happen
Well,
after the cameras.
that's what they did when they brought Punk back, is they rolled the credits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
that too.
yeah.
But Cena gets out the ring, and the crowd is so loud. Thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena. And there was a moment where he had that look on his face like, am I doing the right thing here?
I'm wondering if they're not rethinking, or he's not rethinking this turn now, because you're hitting all these cities for the last time as a bad guy. So you really can't give back to the crowd, even though the crowd has shit on you a lot. The crowd's turning to cheer.
Yeah.
And even Orton was worried, am I going to get booed in St. Louis? Are they going to cheer John more than me? It's possible because Orton will be back, but John won't.
Yeah. It's tough. This is last run. Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, it just a sign of respect, man, and just letting them know he really does deserve he deserves the booze he's getting, because I mean, they're writing him really well as a heel. Like he is doing some great heel work. But at the same time, I mean, he's John Cena, man. This is last run. You want to cheer. You really want to cheer him. You really want him to have the best.
He's going to turn back. I just hope they don't wait until December to turn him.
I think so, man. He's gonna have like that moment at the very end. Because what they haven't done the last few weeks is put that counter back up, and that intrigued me more than anything. Was having a counter come down, but he also said he wasn't going to wrestle, and that's just simply not true. He's putting on matches now, like he's getting his hands dirty.
We'll have to maybe next week we'll look at what he has left.
Yeah, but Monday night comes the backlash, the backlash fallout. Night Raw opens up with, was it Seth that comes out there to open up?
It was the greatest in the world.
Seth.
The best in the world. The best in the world opened it up. Not Seth. The visionary. The CM Punk.
Seth. Oh God, no.
Chick Magnet Punk.
Okay, there you go. All right. Because when you say best in the world, I think of Seth Rollins.
He's the visionary, the revolutionary. This is the best in the world. Best.
No, Seth Rollins. Okay. We'll agree to disagree, right? But CM Punk comes CM Punk comes out, and he says words.
He's fired up.
He's like, you know what? I blame myself because Paul, I should have never trusted that penguin looking.
Calling him penguin was great.
Yes. Oh man. He comes out there, and then the real best in the world's music hits. Paul comes out. Yeah, Paul comes out there first.
He gives you the ladies and gentlemen, and CM Punk shut him right up and told him, get in the ring, penguin.
He starts walking fast like he really was going to get in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I was like, why would you do that? Like, CM Punk's going to kill you if you
He's going to kill you.
He's going to kill you. But then the visionary comes out there with the dog.
He's looking a little less crazy clothes-wise this week. He's just in a normal, weird brown suit, brown gear, brown thing.
I thought about this. I thought about Seth in this unit taking himself more seriously, dressing more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to do that, right? Because a lot of people have done that. Randy, Chris Jericho, suit and tie Chris Jericho was probably the greatest heel run of Chris Jericho's career. That suit and tie, and I don't think Seth needs that.
No, I don't think he's going to do it all the time. But what I think Seth is doing, or what I think they're doing with Seth, is they're making Seth into what he hated the most. If you watch the subtleties of him backstage in the dressing room, like in his room.
Mhm.
He's Roman Reigns right now. As Roman was building the bloodline, he's sitting there leaning over, talking softly to Braun Breaker. Paul Heyman sitting behind him, staring intently. It's almost like he's becoming what he's complained about the most. And if that's the way they're going to do this, and they're going to have him build this faction out the way the bloodline was built out, yes. But Seth comes out with the dog.
And he comes out, he starts running CM Punk down.
Mm-hmm.
And do this shot of Braun Breaker just looking at CM Punk. And I said, man, they have got something special here. Because he just looks like he's ready to kill CM Punk.
Yep.
And Seth says, you know what? If you really want a problem, I can give you a problem. Braun, go become a problem. And Braun just goes in. And God, he just looks the part. Like that. Batista in Evolution was that.
Yes.
But not to the like,
not as much spray tan.
Scary. Yeah, like yeah, no. Like, but Braun just looks so damn scary, man. He's so intense.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes down to the ring, and CM Punk is CM Punk, and he'll fall on his sword, and they get into it. Out of nowhere, here comes Sami Zayn. Zayn jumps in there. Then out of nowhere, here comes Jey Uso. Oh, there's 2 of them and 3 of us. Teasing the third man, right? And everybody, please, Paul, I know you're watching. Don't let the third man be Austin Theory. I don't want to see.
I have a thought on where Austin Theory's going. I have a thought.
Where is that?
We'll get there in a minute.
Okay. Let's do it.
I think the way they framed the picture with the chairs,
yes.
They're teasing Sammy taking on the Seth role of being the betrayer with the chair. I don't want to see Sammy turn. My friend JJ swears that Sammy's turning. And I said, no. Don't turn Sammy. It's been done to death. Let Sammy stay where he's at. Sammy needs to be the conduit to bring Roman back. Not turning against Roman again. He needs to be the conduit to bring Roman back. I missed all of this. I had a hockey game, another loss. But I enjoyed watching the opening set. I watched it back. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot too. There's just something different about Seth right now. And there's something different about Braun. Braun is always Braun. Braun barks. He hits people really fast with spears. But now he's just, like, to me, he's just become a little more dangerous. He's become a little more of a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see it. I think this is the beginning of the ascension of Braun Breaker to finally go to the top and become a main event player. And I think that they're doing really good character work with him. He has the right people behind him. He has Paul. He has Seth. And like you said, Seth in another segment is talking in his ear and like giving him the master plan. And like Braun is just eating it up. And I like that. Like I don't want them to tease it already that Braun is at some point is going to get tired of it. I like that he's soaking it in, right? He's understanding greatness. He's being surrounded by greatness. And he's going to in turn become great in the long run.
Yep.
But they did frame Sammy, kind of in that Seth position with the chair.
Yes, they did. I just don't want to see it.
No. But I did want to see the next match. Chad Gable versus Penta. This was Chad. This Grande Americano. I think he was sick that night. I think he was sick
or maybe his head hurt a little bit from
from headbutting people with the metal plate in his head.
Yeah.
But once again, Chad Gable can wrestle. Penta can wrestle. This was
Yeah,
a good match. You don't get tired of it because they both just kind of bring something different every week, every time they fight. Penta is winning with the Mexican driver.
oh my God, is that such a fun move to watch?
It is, because it really does look like he is taking him out, because he did it to Carlito outside the ring,
Yep.
and it looked like it might have decapitated him. It might have actually broken his neck. Thank goodness it didn't.
Carlito's
Um,
just getting paid to get beat up all the time, so good
I
for
love
Carlito.
Carlito. I'm not mad at him. He
No.
just seems like he's in a good place right now. I'm
Yeah.
happy for him. I'm happy for him, even though he's getting his ass whipped. but he did have a line where he's talking to Raquel, and he said, "You want to go out to dinner, but you pay with your credit card because I forgot my wallet at home." But you pay because I forgot my wallet at home.
Now,
Carlito's great.
there is something going on behind the scenes the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks in a row now. You know, they like to do this stuff where the camera's on this, but you can see stuff happening in the background.
Mhm.
Finn's talking to Roxanne Perez in the background now, 2 weeks in a row. They're off in the back having a little conversation. So
we're going to talk about Roxanne Perez a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because they have a match later, and I have some thoughts on Roxanne Perez.
Can we skip this match, the next match?
Can we? Did you say can we? What is the next match?
The Creed brothers versus the War Raiders with New Day on commentary? I didn't watch it back.
So I did watch this match. The Creed brothers deserve better than this. That's all I'll say. The War Raiders, they're just not doing it for me anymore. Big men moving, doing cartwheels and doing their moves. The Creeds are just a superior tag team.
They are.
They're younger, they're faster, they're stronger. But the New Day is great on commentary.
They're great. I didn't watch it, but I'm assuming they were just as great as they were the last time they did it.
Yes, because they're so funny. Like, Kofi is a genuinely funny person.
Yes.
So is Xavier, but Kofi more so than anybody. Like, he's hilarious. And they're right. No matter what they do, they think they're right.
The recap that I was reading about it said that the crowd was just dead for this.
Because nobody wants to see the War Raiders fight anymore.
No.
Like, and the Creeds have never really gotten a big. They've never just gotten a pop. Like, they don't get pops when they come out there.
No.
Because they're kind of generic. They've tried so many different things. They've come out in suits with no socks. They've come out in just like in their sweatsuits. They come out and they try to pump up the crowd.
And they do,
they do great moves. They have a great move set.
They're super talented.
Yes, they just can't get over.
No.
I don't know what is. I think like 5 years from now, people are gonna finally realize what they had, and give them like sympathy cheers, and then they're gonna become champions, and they're gonna have a good run.
They did announce Rollins and Breakker versus Punk and Sami Zayn at Saturday Night Main Event.
They did. I can honestly tell you, I don't care about this match at all.
I want this match to be overbooked.
Oh, it's gonna be. I think we get the third man at Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be Austin Theory, because, as I had said before, Kathy Kelly has been taking promo training and working out at the Performance Center, doing whatever. Okay. Yeah. She's interviewed Grayson and Austin Theory the last 2 weeks. Now, I haven't read this anywhere. This is just me picking up on the interaction between Grayson and Austin, which they're finally looks like they're kind of pushing them apart. And Grayson and Kathy Grayson's been a dick to her the last couple of weeks. And Kathy made a comment on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it is with Kevin Owens pouring water on his head, and Kathy's like, "That's the only way you're going to get wet," or something like that. It was a weird comment. I think they're going to put Kathy with Austin Theory as his manager.
As fake?
Yeah, as his mouthpiece. kind of that might be the direction they take Austin Theory. It could work if she's good enough. I like her enough. The crowd likes her enough. If he's not the third person, that could be a direction that they're taking him. Now, I haven't read that anywhere. That's just me reading the tea leaves.
It could work. Anything could work.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see it. I would have to see that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know what can work for Austin Theory. He's worked before. That's the thing. Like, he's been great. Like, when he was in the NXT, everything he did just seemed to work.
Yeah.
And he got called up and he just got pushed too hard, too fast. And
well, it was Vince.
And everybody rebelled against it. And now he's kind of stuck.
Well, it's like when they first tried to push Roman, the crowd pushed back because the crowd didn't want it. And they pushed Austin Theory and the crowd just didn't want it. Now you got a shot at it.
They might. But speaking of shots and getting pushed too hard, there's a contingent on the internet who says that Jey Uso is not talented. He's not a good wrestler. You know, the WWE is forcing us down his throat. And he comes out after the commercial break. And for the first time, probably since France, I felt the energy of the crowd being in love with a human being and just having so much fun during his intro. There was a guy, when he came out, there was a guy standing next to him. This guy had zero rhythm in life, but he had the greatest smile on his face because he was standing next to the World Heavyweight Champion. And he was so happy. And everybody, Jey Uso picked up a kid as he was coming down, and the kid is doing the thing. And I was like, he's so over.
Yeah.
They showed the whole crowd, and the whole crowd was going, and everybody had a smile on their face. And I was like, holy shit, I get it. Like, I got it
the internet. Don't listen to the internet.
Get it.
Yeah.
Man, he's so over.
It. I love the man, and I think he's fine.
Me too. I didn't think he was fine on the mic until this Monday. He comes out. He starts talking. He's like, I'm gonna beat Logan Paul. I'm gonna do all these things. And Gunther's music hit. I think they finally got it. Like, there was a moment during this promo where I was like, these two guys really are finally gelling. Because now Jay's confident.
Yes.
Jay stands up to Gunther. Jay is like, I'm the World Heavyweight Champion. And that's what I wanted to see.
Yep.
I wanted to see him a confident champion Jay. Oh, you think I'm gonna beat Logan Paul, then you're challenging whoever, then I'm gonna beat you too. We're gonna run it back and I'm gonna beat you. He didn't say he was gonna choke him out again.
Right.
But he did say he was going to beat him again. Yeah, very smart.
But is it weird that Gunther came out and said that, you're going to fight Logan and I'm going to get the winner of that match? Like, it almost kind of dismissing the Logan Jay match at all, because Jay is looking past Logan to Gunther for the most part.
That could be true.
I don't like. It doesn't make any sense to have Logan versus Jay when you're building to Jay versus Gunther, which is going to be your Money in the Bank.
No, I think that's going to be the Saudi match.
That's okay. That's right.
Because Saudi comes before Money in the Bank, is it? Is it?
June 9th. Nope.
Which one is June 9th?
So he says he will challenge the winner of Uso versus Paul for the world title on the June 9th episode of Raw from Phoenix. So it's not even a PLE. It's just a Raw episode.
Oh,
so that's a month. That's a month away.
That is a month away.
So we're going to go through Saturday Night Main Event. We're going to go through Money in the Bank. And then another Raw. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 Raws before this match happens. 2 PLEs and 4 Raws. That's a long time.
It is a long time. I
Weird.
didn't catch that. I thought he was going to challenge him at the next
So did
PLE.
I.
Yeah. Okay, well then that kind of knocks this promo down a little bit because I thought it was a great pro. I thought both of them. Gunther really like he's gotten so much better on the mic. Like he has really gotten a lot better on the mic. And I thought they had a really good promo, but yeah, knowing that,
Yeah.
I never thought Logan Paul was gonna. The internet would melt if Logan Paul beats Jey Uso.
I can't see it happening.
Saturday main
I
event.
can't see it happening. I see this is just them throwing someone at Jay that's as athletic and will give him a good run for his money. And it should be a fun match.
Yeah. And Logan's just gonna get the crowd against him.
Correct.
And the crowd's always with Jay.
Right.
But Logan is really gonna draw some good heat. And Logan's a good seller. Logan's a great wrestler.
Yep.
So they're gonna have a good match. They're gonna have a good match.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrestlers having good matches, once again, kids, that's what we call a segue. Because AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, I don't think those two men could have a bad match, even if they tried.
Nope.
Right? So much history between the two former Bullet Club leaders, and they had a good match. Of course, there was shenanigans. That's when Penta hit Carlito with the nastiest Mexican driver I've ever seen outside the ring. And AJ Styles wins, phenomenal forearm. I don't really like that, but of course they're trying to prop up AJ Styles because I think he's going to fight Dom at Saturday Night Main Event for the Intercontinental title.
Did you notice who was mysteriously absent when the shenanigans started on the side, outside the ring?
Ooh.
Carlito was there.
Yep.
Dom was not there. Dom did not come out to help his boy Finn.
Dom was not there. You weren't there for me. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the writing's on the wall. The question is, when are they finally going to pull the trigger?
The writing has been on the wall for months.
It has been.
Months and months.
I think they're waiting for Liv to come back because I think she makes. Excuse me?
She'll be back on like the 19th. She's like coming back, like she's back next Monday.
Oh, good.
It was a fast, they said it's a fast, she's over in Japan and they did a little fun thing where Dom doesn't know how to tell time and Dom doesn't know how the earth works. And they played that in and that was funny. And we did have Braun attack Jey Uso backstage.
They did.
Take him out. Did. And this is, and I wanted to mention this. One of the things that I find the funniest about the backstage segments are the attacks backstage. And I think I put this in the chat.
You did.
Is he gets attacked. Everybody comes running over. What happened? What happened? What happened? Braun attacked him. Here comes Sammy. What happened? Braun attacked him. Jay, what happened? Dude, we just told you. And then for the next 2 minutes that they're on screen, tending to Jay, are you all right? Jay, what happened? Dude, what do you think happened? How long have you been doing this? It's so absurd. It's funny.
It is funny. It's funny because it just is. It's like one, it's just terrible acting.
It's the worst.
And literally everybody acts as if this is the first time they've ever seen this happen before.
Right. Oh my God. Jay, what happened? Braun got him. Oh, Jay, what happened? Dude, stop. I'm hurt.
You made me pay attention more to that because I watched it yesterday because I missed it on Monday as well. I was watching my Knicks on Monday and I watched it last night and I was like, oh man, that is funny.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Sammy comes up there and he just looks lost. And he kind of looked like he's trying to pretend to care. Because I don't think he doesn't really care. Because maybe he sent Braun to do it. Because maybe he is.
I've told him to do it. Stop.
The guy.
Sammy
the guy. He's the third guy.
Sammy ain't turning.
But we go from the AJ match. And we cut from the commercial, and Becky Lynch is sitting on the top rope. And she looks distraught. And Becky says my favorite line of all. She says, I didn't lose. I didn't lose on Saturday night. Lyra lost. She might have beat me, but she's the one who ended up in the hospital. And I was like, I mean, she beat you. That means you lost. Like,
Listen,
but in her mind, she didn't.
this was a sensational promo by her. This was some of her best mic work. The whole, you were behind me because you could see yourself in me. And then when I won the belt, you couldn't see yourself in me anymore because I'm a winner and you're not. Like, the way she turned it and took her character in a different direction now and pushed back against the fans. I really enjoyed it, and I normally tune out when she talks. Like, I love her accent, and I've always been a fan, but I usually turn her off and I'll look at something online, or or I'll have it on the screen here and I'll just be playing a video game, and I like just kind of background noise. I paid attention to this one. She had me, and I loved it, and I thought it was a great segment by her. It was one of the best she's had in a very, very long time.
I'll be totally honest. I tuned out during this. Like, that's funny you mention that, because I listened to the first 2 minutes, and then after a while, all of the words sounded the same. Towards the end, she got the fire back, and it was just like, and also had kids running around doing shenanigans. But with Becky, it's hard because the crowd always wants to cheer Becky. Becky is I've always said this, she's the most over female who's ever wrestled in the WWE.
Probably.
Like, the man gimmick just really just took her off to a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
And the fans find it hard to boo her. She's saying things to get them to hate her. And she did a good job on Monday. I will say, I did listen to most of it. And she did a good job getting them over. I mean, getting them on against her.
Right.
But
it's I thought this was her best promo in a very long time. Just wrestle.
Yes. So she ended it with saying, all the girls in the back, you guys get like, I'm here. You're not going to get past me. I'm going to, I'm pretty much like I'm the female final boss. She said all of those things.
Yep.
Then we get to a damn good bunch of women wrestling, because you talked about Roxanne in the back. We haven't spoke about Julia enough.
No.
She just got called up. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. These 4 women had a damn good match.
Yeah.
They all work really well with each other. Roxanne Perez is up next. Roxanne Perez is a phenomenal wrestler. She's standing up to, she's like 5'1". She's standing up to Rhea Ripley, like mocking Rhea Ripley during the match. And it's like, how can you do that? You're so small, but you're so good at wrestling. Io Sky works well with everybody. Like, Io Sky is a wrestling chameleon. She could work any style. She could work any type of female. She's perhaps top 3 best women wrestler on the planet. And definitely in WWE right now. But Roxanne and Julia, man, I think they're up next. Like, Becky's saying all these things. I think Julia could elevate Lyra a lot more, I think, than in the long run than Becky will. I just think, and maybe she doesn't have the backing right now, but I saw some things in this main event that just let me know that WWE's in good hands when the older veteran women retire.
I believe that.
That's what I'll say.
Yep. Charlotte's never retiring, but I believe that.
Yeah. Man. And because we were talking about, brand splits or drafts. And I think that it will serve everybody best if you break up Julia and Roxanne Perez and send them to different brands because they're the young talent. And Julia is not as young as Roxanne. Roxanne is like 23 or 24 years old. Like she has so much time to
Didn't
get
they
better.
tease that at the end of this though?
Yes, yeah. Like those two going their separate ways because I
Mhm.
think they need to. I don't think those two need to be paired. I think they're gonna be great single stars,
Yeah.
whether they're face or heel. Um, but I just Booker T's been saying it for years. Like Booker T is he trained Roxanne Perez. She trained at his school, but she is so good, man, at such an early age, and she meshed well. Everybody was terrified of the call ups because when people get called up to NXT, they just even though Julia lost, Julia took the pinfall. I don't think she looked bad in this match at all. I think everybody looked great in this match.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. This was a great match. I love watching Io wrestle. She's one of my favorite female wrestlers. She's just I love her entrance. I love just her demeanor. She looks so happy to be champion. And
Yes,
it just like she's like a giddy little kid. Asuka and Kairi Sane are coming back soon.
I can't
There
wait.
is no more damage control. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Tag team titles, man. Liv will be back. We might
That's true.
get some women's tag team matches. What I found interesting in this match also was how Rhea looked in this match. Rhea adapted to everybody. She adapted to Julia. She
Yep.
adapted to Roxanne, which I thought is very unique because she usually wrestles a specific style, and she's Rhea Lesnar, right? She's in there just destroying people.
Yep.
But in this match, other people got their stuff in. Like Julia got to shine. Roxanne got to shine, and she didn't just bulldoze through them. And I thought that was a very good choice to not just completely bury a young talent because Julia came out to no pop. She came out to nothing as if people didn't know who she was.
And there's
One, she
probably a
looks
lot
like,
that don't.
excuse me?
There's probably a lot of people that don't know who she is.
That is true. She looks like a million. Her presentation is great. Her music, not the greatest. It doesn't elicit, a response when it comes on. So I
Right.
think we should change that. But like her presentation, she looks like $1,000,000, man. Like I love the mask. I love and she's extremely easy to look at on the eyes. Like she is a beautiful woman.
Yep.
And I think the sky's the limit for her. But I was impressed with Rhea Ripley in this match more often, more so than I am at other times because once again, she let other people get their stuff in. Like she didn't just bulldoze them. She sold a little bit too, just to let you know, all right, these women can wrestle too, and I'm not just ripping through everybody.
No.
Although at the end, after they won, there was that moment where she's like, I mean, I let people get their stuff in, but I'm still going after the title. I'm still
Right.
gonna hang around this title picture.
But she did it more respectful. She didn't do it like an ass. Right?
You say tomato, I say tomato. Because
Right.
I think it's like you could have let Io had a moment without trying to,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you want what you want. She wants to be the best. Like that I could understand from a character perspective. I could understand that because she still wants her title.
Right.
But do you want to see Rhea and Io
Again,
again?
I don't know. You're going to see it most likely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like
Um, do I want to see it? I mean, they put on a good match together. But is this going to be the time that they finally give Rhea the victory and Io loses the belt and it's Rhea's again?
do we want to see that?
I don't really want to see that. I love Rhea. Draft
Yeah.
her to the other brand. Draft her to the other brand and let her go chase that belt for a while.
Oh,
Give her
Rhea and
something
Tiffy.
different.
I think you got something there. Rhea and Tiffy. I think that's a money match, man.
There's Kenny back out of the
Hey.
movie theater.
Hey, Kenny, man, what'd you go see, Kenny? What'd you watch tonight?
I forget what I saw him go see.
Oh, okay. He's driving. He says he's driving, so he can't talk much.
That's fine.
I get it. Yeah, we're coming close to the end of this thing because we just finished Monday Night Raw. So I did want to talk a little bit about Will Ospreay.
Let's talk about Will Ospreay, and I'll save the long list for next time because it's a long list.
Okay. Oh, we did miss the list.
It's fine. I knew we going to Raw was better because we're running a little long.
Yeah. So Will Ospreay comes out last week and he says a lot of things about WWE. For some reason, the topic of WWE always comes up when AEW wrestlers doing their interviews. And he said a lot of things about just all of the AEW wrestlers are better than the WWE guys. And what the WWE does is not wrestling. And he didn't watch WrestleMania, but he did, see the women's match, and he thought that was fantastic. The triple threat. And I love Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay I always say Seth Rollins is the best wrestler in the world. Pound for pound, I think Will Ospreay might truly be the best wrestler on the planet right now.
Okay.
He's younger, he's faster. He doesn't tell the stories that Seth tells. And I don't think anybody in AEW tells the stories that the WWE tells. And I think that's what separates the two brands, right? Yes, on AEW, if you've watched Dynamite, they have fantastic matches. Everybody's doing flippity dippity stuff, and nobody sells. And they don't tell stories, and they just have a bunch of matches that don't interconnect to anything else. But then he went on another interview and just kind of doubled down on it. And I'd just like to hear your thoughts on Mr. Ospreay saying that WWE guys aren't good wrestlers. AEW's better. Yeah. What do you think about
I think he's doing what MJF did at one point. Look, you're performing in front of a quarter of the crowd that the WWE is putting in a building. Okay. You both can go into the same arena and you're going to perform in front of a quarter of the crowd in a more tarped off arena. It's not that there are bad wrestlers in AEW. There are not bad wrestlers in AEW. The fact of the matter is Tony Khan is just putting fantasy matches together. He's playing fantasy wrestling where Triple H is building stories. And it's not the wrestlers that are bad. They're comparable wrestlers. I think the WWE has a little bit more of a talent pool right now. More wrestlers are leaving AEW to go to WWE than are WWE to go to AEW. In the beginning, it was the other way around because AEW is flashing that money around.
Correct.
I don't think the wrestlers are better in WWE. Well, I'm sorry. I don't think the AEW wrestlers are better. Again, they're comparable. They're all superb athletes. But you're getting a better product in the WWE than you're getting in AEW. What he's saying is to try and bring eyes over to AEW. Again, the same way MJF was doing at one point. It's working enough that his name's in the news. Triple H obviously wanted him in WWE and went after him. And, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I don't believe for a second he didn't watch WrestleMania. I don't believe for a second that the wrestlers don't watch these bigger events. Everybody in WWE is watching their Wembley show. Everybody
Correct.
in AEW is watching WrestleMania. If you don't watch you're definitely watching the big four. You're watching your SummerSlam. You're watching your WrestleMania. You're going to watch the Royal Rumble. And you're probably going to watch the stuff overseas because of the time difference and what else is on. Mm-hmm. I think he's just trying to grab headlines and it's working, but it's really, I guess it's a little low class to say that.
Yes.
Because you're not just like, if you say you're better than a single wrestler, okay. You know, MJF wants to come out and say, I'm a better wrestler than Braun Breaker. Well, that's not true, but you're just going one-on-one. You're saying now that every single wrestler on this roster over here is better than every single wrestler on this roster over here. It's just, it's ignorant, and it's low class to say something like that, because you're just not a better product right now.
Yeah. And I you said the right word, low class. And that's what I thought of it. I saw all these headlines and I was just like, you're better than this, Will. Like I thought he was, like, because and I truly think this way in my real life. Like, I don't have to tell you how great I am to know that I'm great.
Right.
Right. And it's totally different in their realm because, like you said, they want to get eyeballs on their product. They want people to go to their shows because their shows are underselling. They're gonna be here in 2 weeks on a Wednesday night, because Wednesday night's the night that Dynamites happen. I'm not compelled to go to the show, and I love wrestling. I've gone to the show here before, and I'm just like, it. Nothing about Dynamite, nothing about Collision. Like, it truly doesn't appeal to me anymore because, once again, it's just a lot of people doing. It's like watching a ton of Lyra Valkyria matches where people are just choreographing moves on top of moves. They're spamming moves, and I could do that in WWE 2K25. You know, I could spam moves all day, and that's fine. And there's some people who love it. Right, there are AEW guys who love AEW and they think WWE is terrible. And that's fine. That's everybody's opinion.
Right. But here's another difference. When AEW comes to Philadelphia, they don't go to the Wells Fargo Center or Xfinity, whatever the freaking thing's called now. They don't go there. That holds 21,000 people for a wrestling event. They go to the Liakura Center at Temple that holds 10,000 people. That's a big difference. Now, I don't know the makings and the behind the scenes thing. I don't know if maybe they're not allowed to go to the Wells Fargo because of WWE or, you know, different, whatever it is. You're still going to a 10,000 seat arena and not always filling it, you know, and your tickets prices are super, super cheap.
Are they?
Maybe.
I know when they came here, they were charging like $75 for cheap seats.
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
I'm like, that's wild. Like,
that's a lot.
$75 for like, you know, for an AEW show. I hate saying that, but it's like $75 for an AEW show. No thanks. But I actually did pay it. I actually did pay it the last time I went.
So I did have to. I was really kind of curious, but AEW doesn't use Wells Fargo because WWE has exclusive contracts with the venue. Okay. That answers that question a little bit, but AEW does tend to get the smaller arenas, and maybe that's because WWE has exclusive contracts.
I don't think they have exclusive contract because, like, so they're coming here to El Paso,
right? And
they're going to the Coliseum. I think the Coliseum seats 1,400 at the most.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a small. There's no bad seats in the Coliseum.
Okay, though that's good.
They usually have the Lucha Libre and go to Disney on Ice there too. That's why my kids love it there. But they smaller venue. They have UTEP, the Don Haskins Center. I know for a fact the Don Haskins, I think, seats about 14,000. Maybe 12,000 at the most. But they never go, like, AEW hasn't gone there. They've always gone to a smaller venue. And El Paso is a wrestling town, right? Eddie Guerrero's from here.
Right.
And I could only go if the ticket prices here, man. For the Coliseum, like, if you're paying $75, I paid $75 for tickets to go see Disney on Ice, but we were literally in the princess seats in the front. And I was like, man, because it's the El Paso Coliseum. It's literally
the smallest
place you could go.
Kenny said that they're cheap here. that he went to see one of the pay-per-views and he got in for the cost of watching at home. Okay. And
I respect that.
Kenny's local to me, Philly wise, so go Birds.
Yeah.
Because the old ECW arena could hold 1,400 people, and they would like routinely go way past that and get up to 2,000 people in there. And I've been in there in the past, and it's elbow to elbow, and it stinks in there, but it was awesome. It was great. It was wonderful.
But yeah,
But I just think it's ignorant of them to say that, and it's not. It doesn't help the business in any way. Like AEW being around helps the business of wrestling the same way WCW helped the business of wrestling back then. It's good to have another promotion like that. You're supposed to elevate each other, and it's not happening in the reverse. Like WWE's going up here like this, except when Road Dogg's writing stuff, and AEW's kind of going down like this because Tony Khan's in charge of creative, and he's just, unfortunately, he loves wrestling and he's a wrestling historian, and that's awesome, but he doesn't know how to build a program or build storylines.
Correct. He literally had the hottest wrestler on the planet, name MJF, and for some reason decided to turn him again. And it's like they just not a good storyteller, not a good booker, and I don't think they realize that professional wrestling is entertainment.
Yep.
Like it's not a real sport.
It's not.
It's not a real sport. Yes, it is. You are athletes. I will never take that away from them. But at the same time, people are not paying to see people truly get beat up. They're paying to go see their favorite people overcome the odds. They're paying for the yes movement. They're paying for the yeet movement. They're paying for not gimmicks, but the people, right? It's like a soap opera, right? And
exactly.
Your favorite character, you want your favorite character when you're there to cheer them on and see them. And I just think that I think AEW just has that all wrong.
I have routinely, and I will always say to people, this is my soap opera. This is my male soap opera. Like I watched Days of Our Lives and I watched General Hospital growing up, and I was involved and I loved every second of the awfulness that they were. But this is my male soap opera. This is my 2.5 hours on Monday night and my 3 hours on Friday night. And this is, you know what I mean? Like this is my thing. And I love it. And my manager at work constantly tells me, well, you know, it's fake. And he just does it to like dig at me. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's fake. And then I, like the first time I argued with him, but the athletes and they're doing real things. And I knew he was trolling me and he was digging at me. Because even then, he's a big MMA guy. And even then he's like, yeah, I understand. I get it. I'm digging at you.
See, I don't even entertain that stuff.
He caught me off guard because I normally don't fall for that. He caught me off guard when he first did it. And I was like, mother.
You know what? You should have just laid into him. And he would have never done that again.
You know what I did? He's also like 350 pounds. I ain't laying into him.
Okay.
You know what I did though? I did put my Bluetooth speaker in front of his computer when he wasn't there, and I did the James Brown. That hi, I feel good, and I got it on video with him jumping back. So, right, yeah, and exactly. I'm echoing what you said. Nobody cares about the score in wrestling; it's all about the story. Correct. Unless it's CM Punk and T hates it.
Oh my god! You know, I don't hate CM Punk. I hate Jeff Hardy, but I don't hate
you. Yeah, yes.
But man, this is 2 hours of talking wrestling. And on that note, we are going to close out the Island of Relevancy because we were waiting on Kenny. That's what we were just waiting on.
I miss Kenny tonight.
To tell us what movies he went to go see today. But yeah, great week of wrestling. Can't wait for tomorrow night, Friday Night SmackDown.
Yep.
A lot of banger matches. I just hope they could put it together and put together a totally good show. And until then, we'll catch you on the Island of Relevancy. Hopefully next week we won't have technical difficulties again, so we can go on Wednesday instead of Thursday. But until, oh man, why do I always have a hard time finding it? Until then, we'll catch you next time. on
Don't
the
be
Island of
sorry,
Relevancy.
Kenny. We love you. Go Birds.
No birds, no.
I didn't.